What's up, everybody? This is Phil Rogacki.
And I'm Jared Abergina.
You're listening to Two Tree Guys Podcast. Tanner, welcome, man, to the Two Tree Guy Podcast in Charlotte. Oh, no, we're not in Charlotte. Where were we at? Asheville. Yeah. I flew into Charlotte last night, and it's a far drive here, but drive, man.
About 2 hours, yeah.
Yeah, it was a hoof. It was a hoof, that's for sure. But, man, is this your first time to an Arbor Fest?
First time to Arbor Fest, yeah. I've been to expos and climbing competitions in the past, but first time to Arbor Fest,
good,
and I'm
man.
excited, man.
Well, I'm excited to hear your story.
Yeah.
You know, like I was saying earlier, everybody has a story and something about them that's unique. The way you got in the industry, your mentor in the industry, and the world hasn't heard your story.
Yeah.
So tell me about yourself. Tell me where you're from and how you got in this industry.
So I'm from a small town, Clintwood, Virginia. Population about 1,200. I'd had my brother-in-law had he was going out to work some line clearance work, and he asked me if I wanted to come. And at the time, I was working in a furniture store, still in high school.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, because I was about to graduate and stuff. And I was like, I think it would be pretty cool. It's a little more money, So, yeah, at first it started out as a paycheck. But, man, as I started getting into it and working, I started falling in love with it and, the aspect of everything and, just the people involved in the industry.
And this was your brother that got you in it?
It was my brother-in-law.
Now, how did he get in the industry?
Well, he's no longer in the industry, For him, it was just kind of like, he was going to run equipment,
Okay.
So he's a heavy equipment operator.
Are you an equipment operator?
No, I've got a little bit of time on the backhoe and like skid steer and a little bit of things, but like not a whole lot.
Okay.
So like me, I'm just more of just a climber,
Okay.
faller, things like that. I love to rig. But anyways, it started out as, a paycheck. I fell in love with it. Then at the time, the company I was working for, I just felt that I couldn't grow, because
Gotcha.
like the people that was around me, they wasn't the best, I would say, people that I needed to be around.
Yeah. What made you see that? I mean, how'd you know that?
Well, it was just the situation. Some of the guys were just bad off, they had problems. And, we had this guy from ACRT come and give us some line clearance training.
Gotcha. Kevin
Myers. I don't know if you've met him before or not, but he's a real great guy. And he had, showed us, single rope,
Gotcha.
Came out and did the aerial rescue, showed us some stuff we ain't never seen before.
Yeah,
I was like, oh man, this is cool.
What'd you think of that when you first seen it?
I was like, man, that blows my mind. He showed us a friction saver, like, whoa, man, like that rope runs so smooth. Like, whoa, what's this?
It made you want more, didn't it?
Yeah, it made me want more. And then I got hungry for it, and I was like, man, this is stuff. There's so much more to it than just running on a top line or a Blake's hitch and doing things the old school way. So I talked to him, after class. I was like, hey, man, you want to go out and climb, could you show me some stuff, So we went out and rec climbed the day after.
Yeah.
He was still out in town.
Gotcha.
And we went out to dinner together, and I picked his brain a little bit. But, man.
How many people were in this class?
There was probably about 12 of us.
And total. You went to him and asked him, hey.
I went to him separately. I went and asked him. I said, hey, man, what can you show me? Can we get together? Can we climb? Can we do something? And he said yes. And he said yes. So we went out to a park. We climbed this massive oak tree. He gave me a foot of cinders. I mean, I've never seen a foot of cinder before. I was like, whoa, this thing's cool.
Yeah.
But so we did that. I was talking to him. I was like, hey, man, I'm always looking for opportunities. Is there something else that, do you know of any other companies that I can, maybe better myself or, just go somewhere else? So, he knew a guy, and this company was based out of Georgia. At the time, I was working in North Carolina and some parts of Virginia, doing line clearance. So I went and I moved off myself. I'd left that company I was working for because he got me hooked up with this guy down in Georgia.
Okay.
Gunnison tree specialist, and I went and worked for them for quite a few months, and then I went another guy. So like at first, you know,
so you're picking up a little bit of knowledge from each one of these companies, kind of what they did good, things like.
So I was moving around. You know, I was kind of like, I guess you wouldn't call it stable, but at the same time, I was learning so much more just by getting to work with different people. You know, and just it first started with Kevin, me meeting him, you know, talking to him. He got me hooked up with Gunnison Tree. I did residential work for a while, and so backtrack to the first company. The reason I left is like they kept having to get rid of people because of their problems. And they ended up making me a foreman and me only doing tree work for like 4.5 months. And I'm running this climbing crew and like I've only been climbing, you know. So I was like, you know, this is too much. I left, you know, once I was talking to him. And then same thing happened in Georgia, you know. I went down there, started doing line clearance work for this residential company, and then they put me on doing DOT work, and then I met this other guy, Javier. He's a really great guy. I've learned some stuff from him.
And where was this at?
In Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
He showed me the 5-to-1. I never seen a 5-to-1 before. Other than that, before I was using a come along. You know, we used a come along to pull trees over. I was like, man, this is some pretty cool stuff. You know, like the more I traveled, the more I moved, the more I bounced, the more I was interacted with gear wise. And just like, you know, tips and tricks the way other people does things, because everyone cuts trees differently. Like you go to the West Coast, or you go somewhere in the middle, or you go to the East Coast, everything's different. And it's not one way's wrong, it's just everybody's got their way of doing things. And I've been fortunate enough to bounce around and learn from all these different people and meet really great tree guys. And I've met not so great tree guys, but you learn from those people.
What made you want to do that? I mean, what was in you? Because everybody is in front of the same opportunity or has the same opportunity as you did. A good portion of our industry gets in the exact same way you did. They just throw you out there. Hopefully you make it, make you a foreman, climbing, and just no education, no teaching, no training. And what do you think it was about yourself that made you go, you know what, I need to do more. I need to learn more. I'm picking up on this than other people. What was inside of you that you think that's different from everybody else doing that?
Man, I fell in love with climbing, man. I just got so passionate about it. I was like, this is what I'm going to do forever. So I've took it to the next level. I've went and got my ISA now, so I passed it back in December.
Good job.
So and
good job, man.
So I met the guy in Georgia, Javier. He hooked me up with another company. He used to be a trainer for Nats.
Okay.
You know, so I went there, worked 3 years, and this is where I found my mentor. You know.
Gotcha.
So this guy by Robert.
Robert who?
Huffman.
Okay.
And he really showed me what it was to like have drive and to work hard and to not give up and just to go at it every day as hard as you can.
It wasn't even about the tree care, the climbing, the techniques. It was more of you as a human being, just being better.
Me as a human being better, you know.
Good, man.
And just showing me, apart from everything, like if you do good work, like if you go the extra mile and work a little harder, your work separated from someone else's work, you know. So like, you know, always doing the extra little things, the freebies, the things that most people's like, I ain't doing that, I ain't got time for that. Just cutting that stump a little lower or something, making things look nice and making things presentable, you know, and making yourself look more professional. You know, he taught me that. You know, he taught me to, you know, work hard and be persistent. You know, like, I mean, I ain't never told him that, but he's probably gonna find out now.
Hey, you know what? But, you should tell him that.
Yeah.
I mean, guys like him, you know, they don't come around all the time, and to take you and be that person that helped push you to where you are. You've taken those same attributes that he has, and now you're taking them on, and I'm sure helping individuals and teaching them. And that's what our industry is about. It's about taking this knowledge, taking this drive and the things you have and giving it to somebody and like I told you before you get on the show, man, the words you're going to say today, is going to be out there forever.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't know who's going to listen to this in 20 years and hear your voice and say, dude, Tanner inspired me to go learn more. Tanner inspired me, and you don't even know the people you're touching for that. So you should tell them, because that means a lot to somebody that does that every single day.
Yeah. Man, he hardest worker I've ever seen.
Where's he at right now?
He lives in Roanoke.
Where's Roanoke?
Virginia.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, I worked with him for 3 years. He was like a father figure to me, and he just took me in and looked after me, and he showed me what he could, and me having a sense of pride of myself. When I was younger, even when he would show me something, I wouldn't, so much acknowledge it. But, at the same time, me and him had like that love-hate relationship, like he was my dad or something. Because there would be times we'd just be mad at each other or we'd butt heads because I'm young and he's older. But, overall, man, he really shaped me into the tree guy I am today.
Good, man. Good. Let's do this. Here's what I want to challenge you with after the show. I want you to go outside, go out there. I want you to shoot a video of yourself.
Okay.
Tell him how much you appreciate him and send him that video.
Okay.
That will make his day, his week, his month. Okay. And just say that, because we don't tell people how much we appreciate them. Yeah. And people have done a lot in our life, and they need to hear that, because who knows what he's going through today that might spark him and to do better, to give to somebody else from that. So can you make that commitment?
Oh yeah.
And send it to him?
I'll do that. Yeah,
all right. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Good, man. So what's the future hold for you? What's the next steps in your career and your path?
Well, right now I'm contracting Fridays and Saturdays, 2 days a week. I work for, I still do line clearance, 4 days a week, run a bucket truck. But, I've been praying about things, and I'm leaning towards, I'm just going to take that big extra step, go in for myself and just like either contract full time or, make that bigger move, that I'm scared of, which I've been thinking about it a long time.
You ain't scared. You're not trying, my friend.
Yeah. So I think that's my next step, because when you go out and, you're working for different companies and, you find those certain companies that, you really click with, or you find a company that everyone is on another level than you, and then it gives you a lot more room to grow, because if you put yourself in a situation to where you're the top thing, you're running everything, you're not going to grow much more. You got to put yourself with other people who's had way more experience than you, man. Done way more complicated,
because you only can go up
or reach more milestones than you. Did the massive 6-7 foot trees. You need to work with those guys, and learn from those guys, because if it's just you and you work with crews and companies that you're the top dog, you're not going to grow or learn anymore. So like my best advice to give to younger climbers or people getting into it is just to experience and work for other people, and meet people, go to expos, go to climbing competitions,
get on podcasts,
and get on podcasts. And just get connected and reach out to other people, exchange phone numbers, meet people. That's where I've separated myself from others. I've got out and I've, exchanged numbers and, said hi to people. And then that turns out, then I'm working for that guy the next week, we exchanged numbers, and then, you might not ever work for that guy again after you work for him. It just might not be a fit for you. You gotta be careful what you do too. Just don't go out there and throw yourself out there to people. Because then if you're doing that, and you don't have the authority to say no to something, like you go into a job, no PPE, they don't have a safety harness for your bucket truck. Or nothing, you gotta have it in your chest to be like, no, like we can't do it. Or if you see something that's reckless, you gotta be like, I'm not doing this. This is my life. You got to be able to say no, and I've learned the hard way. I've been burned myself. I went out and done jobs and someone not pay me my rate. So they just pay me a half a day rate because I only worked a half a day. Well, I'm sorry, I got the job done in a half a day. It was a day's work. Like I went out and got burnt myself because I didn't have a written contract, or I just didn't say no to something.
You're paying for an education, man, and in business and entrepreneurship and growing yourself as a professional. You make those mistakes, but don't look at it as a mistake. And look at it as
I'll learn from
it's an education,
man.
Be like, thank you, because I won't make that again. You need to go through those.
If people don't make mistakes, you don't learn. You don't learn if you don't make mistakes.
Failure is a good thing. As long as you don't fail on the same thing over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
Learn from your failures and move on.
Every tree you cut, you have one that breaks hinge. You learn from it. You have a tree that does this one time. Oh, you learn from it. You know, like if you don't have failures and you don't make mistakes, you're not learning. Yeah. You're not putting yourself to your full potential. You need to be pushing yourself to a point to where, okay, I'm gonna do this. Last time I did it, it didn't go so well. This time we're gonna add a couple extra ropes or whatever, or take a smaller piece.
Yeah.
Or you got to mitigate your risk too.
Yeah, exactly.
So like dead trees, for example, right?
Uh-huh.
What can you do? Okay, can you get a crane to them? Like, or do you have to say no to the tree? Period. Like, sometimes you got to say no. Because it's you.
Yeah. Well, dude, Tanner, man, you're gonna do some big things. I hope so. I can hear it, man. Yeah. I hear you drive.
Yeah.
What you push yourself to do in a very short amount of time. It's most people don't do that.
Yeah. 5 years.
5 years. And you've stepped outside of the comfort zone. Now you're in a part of your life right now that you're wondering when to step out that next. A little scared.
Yeah.
Step out, man. Yeah. Go for it. Because guess what? You can always come back. Anybody will hire you, man.
Oh, yeah.
At any time. So take that chance, because you get one shot at this life. You get one time to go all in.
Yeah.
Go all in, dude.
Yeah.
Go all in. Don't be on that deathbed. Like I always say on the show, and not regretting the things you did. You're going to regret the things you didn't do. So make it happen and go out there, guys. Man, awesome talking to you today. Welcome to the podcast, the Two Tree Guys. Tree guy.
Thank you.
Talking about the industry, talking about wisdom and people that inspired us and really invested in us for that turning point in our career to make you love what you do. And it's not just a job anymore, but now you're living your life of what you enjoy for that. Yeah. So keep going out there and spreading. I hope in the next few years we can see you as a trainer for the academy in Charlotte and helping us out there, and
sure, I'd love to.
It's coming, my friend. It's coming across the country for that. So
and that's something, man, we got to do for each other as tree guys. Like a lot of people just want to keep that stuff to themselves, but you got to share your knowledge. You got to show people what you know and teach them, because then it betters the crew around you, and then things pick up. Things are more efficient.
Exactly.
We got to help each other as tree guys and show each other our tricks and tips, because if we keep it all to ourselves, the only person we're hurting is ourselves. We got to help. We got to give.
Exactly.
Exactly. So if one big takeaway I would say from this is just to get out there and help each other, show each other what you know.
Exactly.
And just, if you see somebody doing something and you know a better way of doing things, give them a shout. Or if you don't understand why they're doing that, ask them why they're doing it that way. Just
like Kevin did. Kevin took the time to go out to eat with you, to work with you, that made you strive to do more, to go outside the box, to learn more, to come to ArborFest, to come on a podcast show. And now, because of Kevin investing that one dinner with you and inspiring you, this podcast now goes out to everybody that's going to listen to it, man, all over the world, everywhere. So for that, I encourage everybody, help someone today, invest in someone today, even if it's a dinner, even if it's a little bit of training, give them. So appreciate you, man. Appreciate you being on the show. Until next time, guys, this is a Two Tree Guy podcast.
Yeah.